all. I hope you all are fit and fine at your places. So student, myself Priyanka Joshi, your science teacher in front of you with a new topic of a science. So student, in science we have completed the 4 chapters. The first one is nutrition in plant, second is nutrition in animal, and the third one is fiber to fabric, and the fourth is heat. Now students, today we are going to take a quick revision of these chapters. So in this video, I am going to discussing the chapter first, that is nutrition in plant, and the chapter second, that is nutrition in animal. We are taking the revision of both the chapters in this video. Okay, so there is a combined video of these 2 chapters. So please listen the video carefully and revise your chapters. After that, student, I am sending you the worksheet related with these chapters. Okay, in that worksheet, the questions related with chapter 1st and chapter 2 are present. You have to solve it by your own. Okay, student, if you are facing any kind of problem, if you have any confusion in the answers of that questions, so we discuss it in our Google Meet or online classes. Okay student, so please revise the chapters with the help of the video. Okay, watch the video carefully.
Nutrition in plants. All the living organisms require food. It requires food for their growth and to obtain the energy. For growth, the food is very essential part. The process of taking food by an organism as well as the utilization of this food by the organism is called nutrition. There are 2 modes of nutrition. First is autotrophic mode of nutrition and second is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Those organisms which can make food themselves from simple substances like carbon dioxide and water by the presence of photosynthesis are called autotrophs. Now, the next is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Those organisms which cannot make their food themselves by the process of photosynthesis and take food from green plants or animals are called heterotrophs. The heterotrophic mode of nutrition is that type of mode of nutrition in which the animals feed upon the producers. It means green plants. This is the process of photosynthesis, the process by which green plants makes their own food from carbon dioxide and water by using sunlight energy is called photosynthesis. In this process, the plant take carbon dioxide gas needed for photosynthesis from the air through the tiny pores called the stomata that are present on the surface of the leaf. The tiny pores are surrounded by a pair of guard cells, and the opening and closing of the stoma depends on the guard cells. When the guard cells are turgid, they remain open, and when the guard cells are flaccid, they remain closed. Carbon dioxide from the environment enters in the leaf through the stomatal pore. Soil always contains water with it, and the roots of the plant absorb the water. Then the water is transferred to the leaf of the plant. In this manner, the water is transported through the plant into the various part of the plant. So the conduction of water in the plant takes place with the help of a tiny pipes known as the xylem. So xylem play a major role in the conduction of water. Here is the chlorophyll? Chlorophyll present on the leaf, and chlorophyll is very much necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Here you can see this is the reaction of the photosynthesis, in that carbon dioxide and water combine to form the glucose and release the oxygen. So for this process the sunlight and the chlorophyll are the major requirements. Clear? So the chemical energy stored as a plant food in the plant. So when the plants and animals utilize the food made by the process of photosynthesis, they actually use the solar energy. Most of the plant have green color leaves, but there are some plants also which have different color leaves such as red, orange, yellow. Okay, so those plants also contain chlorophyll in them. Photosynthesis mainly takes place in the leaf of the plant, but there are some plant also which done the process of photosynthesis through the other parts also, such as stem and green branches. The green branches and green stem done the photosynthesis in some plants. The green stem and the green branches contain the chlorophyll in it. So they are capable of doing the process of photosynthesis. So the photosynthesis also takes place in other part of the plant, such as green branches and green stem. In this figure, you can see the green layer present on the surface of the water, especially it is seen in the lakes or over the sea. These are known as the algae. Okay, they are the floating plants. They always float over the surface of the water. So green algae are always have autotrophic mode of nutrition. They contain chlorophyll and they prepare their food by itself. Algae do not have true root, leaf, stems like that the plant. Next is parasite, a plant which lies on or other inside another organism called host and derives the food from it is called parasite. So there is a cascata example of a parasitic plant. Here you can see in this picture the yellow color plant is cascata. They depends on the other plant on which it lies for their nutrition. So this is an example of parasite. Next is saprophytes. Those non-green plants which obtain their food from dead and decaying organic matter are called saprophytes. Some examples, here you can see the fungi, that is bread mold, yeast, the fungus feeding on the growing rotting wood of a dead tree. So they feed on the dead wood. This is an example of saprotrophs. Saprotrophic mode of nutrition means those organism deprives their food from the dead organic decaying matter. So bacteria, fungi are the major examples of saprotrophs. So students, in short, this is the revision of the chapter first, that is nutrition and plant. In that we have discussed the nutrition and the modes of nutrition, autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition, the process of photosynthesis, what are the stomata, and the structure of the chlorophyll, and the other modes of nutrition, that are the heterotrophic mode of nutrition of plant, about the parasite, host. Okay, this all we cover in this chapter. So students, this is all about the chapter first in a short video. Now students, let's have a quick revision of the chapter second, that is nutrition in animal. Here in previous video we have discussed about the nutrition in plant, and in this you are going to see how the nutrition of food takes place in human body or in animal body. So here we will discuss the digestive system of the human and the digestive system of animal. So please watch the video carefully and revise your chapter.
Yummy! This food tastes so good.
Do you know what happens to the food when it goes inside your body?
No, but I want to know.
Yeah, sure. Our body has a huge network of various glands and organs which absorbs the essential nutrients from the food and discards the unimportant part.
This seems to be very interesting.
Are you interested to know more about this digestion mechanism?
Yes.
Students, today we will start a lesson, Nutrition in Animals, where you will come to know how our body digests the food we eat.
Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define the digestive system, tell the parts of the alimentary canal, learn about how the digestion happens in different parts of alimentary canal, and explain digestion in grass-eating animal. Discuss feeding and digestion in amoeba. So what is digestion? So you all know we utilize food as such that contains carbohydrate, fats and protein. We get the complex food as it is, and the breakdown of complex component of food into simpler substances is called digestion. So this is the process of digestion in which the food broken down into different substances. This is the alimentary canal system of human being. It starts from the buccal cavity that is present in the mouth, and after that the esophagus, also known as food pipe, then stomach, then small intestine, and then the large intestine. The end part is the anus, through which the waste product moves out from the body. The food particles break down into the body by two processes, that is the mechanical digestion and the chemical digestion. Both the process takes place in the buccal cavity itself. Mechanical process means the physical breakdown of the food with the help of the teeth, and the chemical process includes the broken down into the different molecules with the help of chemical, and both the process takes place in the mouth itself, mechanical and the chemical. The salivary gland secretes saliva, which also helps in the mastication of the food particles. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. This is the process of ingestion. The food comes into the buccal cavity, and after that it comes into the esophagus. The esophagus is a long tube that runs from the neck to the chest. Now the food reaches to the stomach. Here the digestion of food takes place with the help of a different acids. Okay, in our stomach the acids are present. The hydrochloric acid helps in the digestion of food. Inside the stomach the food mixes with the digestive juices. A lining of mucus protects our stomach from acids. After about 4 hours, the food changes into the chyme and then moves towards the small intestine. Chyme is the semi-fluid mass of partially undigested food. The small intestine is the largest part in our alimentary canal. It is almost about 7.5 meter long, and it is the part where the most of the nutrient of the food are absorbed. The secretion of the liver and the pancreas also come in the small intestine. Liver secretes bile juice stored in a gallbladder and helps in the digestion of fats. Pancreatic juice break down proteins and carbohydrate. After that, partially digested food reaches into the small intestine, where the intestinal juice break down carbohydrate into simple sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into the amino acids, and completes the digestion of the food. Now the digested food passes into the blood vessel. We call this process absorption. Now there are some interesting structures present in the small intestine are the villi. The villi, do you know what is the function of the villi? The villi increase the surface area for the absorption of digested food. After that, the next process takes place, that is assimilation. In this, the transportation of the absorbed substances via the blood vessels to different organs of the body to build complex substances such as protein. Now the large intestine. Large intestine, most of the water and the salt content absorb in the large intestine, and it helps in removing the water molecules and protect us from the dehydration. After that, the food particles come in the last part, that is the rectum. Here, rectum is the temporary storage of food, and after that the food removes from the anus out. This process is known as egestion. Next is the ruminants. The grass eating animals are called ruminant, and their digestive system somewhat differ from the human digestive system. Here the rumen is present. In rumen the partially digested food is present. After that it again comes back to the mouth of the cow, and again cow start chewing the food. This process is known as rumination.
You will be surprised to know that there are certain organisms which do not have mouth and a digestive system, yet they digest food. This organism is amoeba, which is found in ponds. It is single-celled and you cannot see it with the naked eye. It has a cell membrane, a rounded nucleus, and vacuoles in its cytoplasm. It changes its shape and position constantly by pushing out finger-like projections called pseudopodia or false feet, and captures some microscopic organisms as its food. The food becomes trapped in a food vacuole, and the digestive juices act on the food to break it down into simpler substances. Finally, the undigested food is expelled outside by the vacuole. By this you can say all the animals have same basic process of digestion.
Let us summarize what we have learned. The breakdown of complex components of food into simpler substances is called digestion. Alimentary canal consists of buccal cavity, food pipe, or you can say esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and the anus. Digestion of carbohydrates like starch begins in the buccal cavity. The digestion of proteins starts in the stomach. The bile secreted from the liver, the pancreatic juice from the pancreas, and the digestive juice from the intestinal wall complete the digestion of all components of food in the small intestine. The absorbed substances are transported to different parts of the body. Water and some salt are absorbed from the undigested food in the large intestine. The undigested food is expelled out of the body as a feces through the anus. The grazing animals like cows, buffaloes, and deer are known as ruminants. They quickly ingest, swallow their leafy food, and store it in the rumen. Later, the food returns to the mouth in small lumps, and the animal chews it. Amoeba ingests its food with the help of its false feet or pseudopodia, and the food is digested in the food vacuole. So students, in short, we revise the second chapter also, that is nutrition in animal. Here we discuss the two chapter of your science, that is first chapter nutrition in plant and nutrition in animal. Both we revise them in a one video. So I hope now you will able to understand everything regarding these chapters. So students, I am sending you one worksheet. That worksheet contain the questions related with chapter first and chapter second. Please try it to do it by yourself. Thank you very much.